read the legal disclaimer. Today's demonstration is designed to instruct you on using MetaStock and the accompanying software plugins. It's not a recommendation to buy or sell, but rather guidelines to interpreting and using specific indicators and features within the software. The information, software, and techniques presented today should only be used by investors who are aware of the risk inherent in trading. MetaStock should have no liability for any investment decisions based on the use of the software, any trading strategies, or any information provided in connection with the company. So with that being said, can you guys all hear me? Can you see me? Can you see the screen? Is everything going okay? I think we've got everything sorted out, but if you'd let me know in the chat box, I'd certainly appreciate it. And thanks for sticking around. I hope you're having a good summer. We're kind of getting into August now. And in any case, there you go. Our speaker today is Peter. Peter's been a longtime guest of MetaStock. Now, I remember about 15 years ago, we released a very, very popular product that's called the FXTA, or the Forex Traders Advantage. Very, very successful product that was obviously geared towards the Forex trading and the Forex crowd. Over the last 10 or 15 years, he's kind of been perfecting his methods, and now he has a product that he calls Magic Trader Elite that has a very, very unique way of looking at markets, and I really like his ingredients approach that he's implemented. So without further ado, and without any hopefully more technical problems, let's go ahead and bring him on here and we'll have him kind of talk. So Peter, how are you doing?
All right, Jeff, thank you very much. Can you hear me?
Yes, and I want to say I'm sorry it took us so long to get the room up. I guess we had some hardware failures in Texas.
It's not a problem. So we're going to get started so we don't waste everybody's time. Thank you very much for everybody who's attending this webinar. And we're going to be brief where we need to. Even though its duration is 60 minutes, it may go over. I understand we had time delays because of technical difficulties, but we will try to capture every single thing what I have planned to talk in a shortest period of time. So you will feel like information coming from fire hose. So please bear with me. And what we're going to do, I'm registered with the federal government, so I have more responsibility. So a lot of disclaimer we have to at least show, but I will try to be brief. Copies are available from us. You could reach out to Jeff. He has always the latest disclaimer, and it is also on our website, themagictrader.com. So that will help us bit of the process, because I don't want to read every single word. But before we read the disclaimer, I just want to briefly talk about the topics in today's webinar. So we're going to talk about the 5 major patterns we've been observing since 2006 happening in Magic Trader. So Magic Trader is a big software. It has upcoming years of trading, and people in my room knows, we just were telling there are 50 some ways you trade. But in reality, if I tell them the truth, they will not going to believe. So I started being conservative. There's only 10, 15 ways you could do it. Now they're feeling there's more than 800 ways I could trade with the same software. So you could understand the complexity behind the scene. And this is the fact. And we've been regulated. This platform is being evaluated by federal government representative for 2 years before I went in a retail. So basically, they don't approve anything, but they told me what language and what I should be doing, which was a very great help. But it took 2 years for them. So just think in that perspective. So we're going to talk about the 5 different patterns. We name it the ingredients. There are more than 5 ingredients in this software. So eventually we bring it out to the general public. Even if you don't know, you could still trade with what we teach you here. So it's like a big journey, And once we reveal the secret, people want more. So that's the problem we have it because now they want to know everything. So because they're making good progress. So besides that, I decided at the last moment I'm going to reveal the pattern. We never publicly talked about it as a bonus to attend this webinar, and that you will see with your own eyes. So I don't have to prove anything. You see with your own eyes how easy it is to spot repeatable pattern. It is was in your plain sight. So many, so many webinars we did it. I never talk about it. That's the beauty about Magic Trader. It does its magic. So stay tuned. So let's get these disclaimers out of the way very quickly. So legal department is happy. So I'm not acting as an investment advisor. Everything is for education purpose only. There is no software in the world is designed with 100% perfection. So we got to go with that mindset. So nobody can guarantee anything. And even if it is true today, it cannot be true tomorrow. Same trader, same looking chart because lack of liquidity. There are so many factors other than just claiming consistent results. I will never say that. I will never use guarantee word because regulators will not allow us to do it. And this way we are staying conservative. So please try to understand we cannot make things up even though it is true. So we try to always balance between buy, sell, or hold that you could make money or lose money. Same way, because nobody can guarantee in reality. So you have to make that judgment when when you observe other people saying what. Because every slide we have to submit for their reviews. Okay, now CFTC 4.41, this rule does exist for a long time. Everything we do is falls under hypothetical, including live trading, because these are unrepeatable events. And it is true that you could still make money, but it cannot be repeated same way you did strategy. But when you go to nitty gritty about the risk management, every single thing changes because market changes every second. So you got to make decision based on external factors beside what software shows because your emotion control takes place. So I want people to understand that this is not a get rich scheme. We have option symbols, so we try to tell people options are very risky. Some of the strategies, naked calls, naked put, you could lose your shirt. I used to trade. I was allowed by brokers, and at that time I was a client for Paine Weber, which is a very conservative. Now it's UBS, and they don't. It took me 3 years to get the permission because I don't trade one contract, right? So it took me 3 years to get their permission until they become comfortable. And I was on a very small percentage of the client because they don't really want to take the risk. So try to understand that if you're thinking that options are not risky, they are very risky. And OCC gives you free education. Google them and do whatever you need to learn it. Now, Lawrence wants us. My company's name is $7 Enterprises. Is in existence. We started in '87, then incorporated in '98, and we're still around. So I'm here to stay. And even if I'm not in the world, MetaStock will be still. It will be in my will. I told them MetaStock is the only one will be allowed to do whatever they need to do with a magic trader. And I made that commitment back in days, right? And I kept my relationship and promises, and that's how we do business. And they will be still there. So this product is not dying, right? So dying means it will be still around even if I die. That's what I'm trying to tell you. And Manastock does a great job, right? So we have to be patient with them, which I learned too. Now, my company does not give you any kind of recommendation. We just do chart interpretation. So don't expect we're going to say give you buy, sell a whole recommendation. It doesn't happen. Will not happen. Regulator will be all over me, but I'm not your investment advisor. So whoever is doing it, you got to ask them. Are they allowed by CFTC or SEC, that will tell you the story. Intellectual property, I'm not going to give a lecture here, but we have patents, trademarks, so many things, so many claims all over the world. So please try to respect it. So I don't go after people. We give it to the law firms and they deal with those people who violate it. And this is what I didn't do this. Now even streaming, everything what we do is a streaming. And I didn't make this rule. It is a federal law now, 10 years prisons or whatever. Now, this is our registration number with the CFTC. I had other licenses. It's a lot of work. So, and I still have licenses on other areas of businesses. So I got a lot to do. So we hold it up and I kept it and everybody heard now crypto. As we speak, House is debating all the different HRs, right? And eventually it will go to Senate and will become a law. And I have seen this movie with the Forex. And I was there since 2005. And basically, I was trading foreign currency in 1999, 2000. I started. So I've been around the block. I have seen the movie getting regulated, right? And it will happen same thing. And now it is inevitable. It's already in place. They allocated $150 million the other couple of weeks ago to CFTC to handle what it tells you. It's becoming a law. So be prepared. Now, testimonials, we don't put testimonial because regulators think that we could get in trouble, even though it is true. So we took it off even for my first product, right? No testimonials. So you got to feel it, you got to do it. That's what regulators want us to do it. That's what we do. So please try not to hope that you're going to make $1 million. You got to learn it, and it's a risk-based software. Please try to understand that there are a lot of risks, and you have to learn how to deal with it. Now, this is our legacy style of trading. I cannot guarantee zero drawdown, but if you learn this method, it is close to zero drawdown. And there are a lot of traders have eyewitnesses in a live as well as on a routine basis. We call drilling. So we drill it down and find those time frames where we have zero or close to zero drawdown. And it happens not one time, repeat. So when the risks are completely taken away from one side to another side, and we have the symbols, it shows up. So core of this software or this webinar is how to trade with the magic trader, how to use simple trading strategy. And there are hundreds of strategies there. Hard to believe, but it is true. And there are so many combinations in this software. So there are tons of strategy can be still developed. Simple idea. If you know anything about permutation and combination, and you're going to see the symbols here, and there are hidden symbols, do the math. You will not believe that this is really true, which is fine. What the software does, eliminate most of the technical analysis. We not, it is a technical software, but we using symbols and colors to eliminate all these drawing trend lines and this and that. Uh, I am a technical trader. I teach whole my life all over the world technical trading. So once in a while, because we have new people coming in, they are technical traders. So I will make them comfortable talk about this. But I don't use any of those patterns in my own trading, ascending triangle, descending triangle, or head and shoulder, or whatever, because that's the life I don't want to live anymore. I found a better and easier way. And eventually, you will boost your confidence. I'm not going to say the pattern which I'm going to talk about today, but we'll leave it up to the last. So this will be like a not 007, 007 for now. I never publicly teach this thing. First time I'm going to be teaching. And before we started, I want to tell you certain charts I'm going to spend 30 seconds, we could stop and read what is on the chart. So that will save me to explain the new pattern. And we will try to teach for new people how these 5 patterns or ingredients works. All right, this is the simplest way I could explain. So this is more or less what you're going to see on a chart. This is a brand new patented health indicator, which we developed after 2, 3 years of hard work. What you see, there is more into that, but only physically you see only 5, 6 of those, and which is fine. So you don't need to see what is behind the hood. It is there, but we made it invisible. MetaStock did a great job, right? Their programmers work very hard to make it simple, right? And I appreciate that. So this is a daily chart of a gold back in March. So you could relate these dates here, right? 10 to 13 areas. So the this is called health window, right? Where the health indicator is. So what the purpose of the developing? I always I have a problem, health problem for many years, 30 some years. I'm still alive, but so I go to cardiologist and this guy and that guy. I'm looking at all these monitors, basic engineering skill. I have it, went to school. All these charts and heartbeat and different kind of things. I said, why we cannot develop something for a security, internal, what is going on, right? Just like your heart. What is going on inside? We can't see from outside unless you put on a monitor. Same idea. I got it while I was teaching technical analysis thing. I said, there got to be a way I could identify and we could trade with that because now we are ahead of everybody else. And that opened up a door for pinpoint entries, right? Because health is good, right? It can be identified. I could take the trade at that time when things are lining up. So that's what it was developed in short. This is what we call spectrum. When I started back all my webinar with, we were showing ocean and iceberg under the under the water, bigger portion of iceberg. Now people see with reality because they're using it. It is a gigantic amount of information is programmed in there. So any conditions so far I'm seeing, I have not seen not covered by software, but that doesn't mean anything. That could be a new condition, but software can handle most of the risk involved and trainings, recorded training. Even I give them permutation of combination. I'm not going to go public here. You will tell me I'm lying. People who are using, they know what it is, but it is mind-boggling. And we were in a position to get patents for many things which was not there ever. Generally think that, oh, 5, 10 risk. No, 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 it is not true. It's much more than that. So, okay, what are these things here? Then we're going to go here, so it's easy to identify. These are forecasts. People talk about AI and everything. These forecasts were developed in a working model in 2006. It forecasts what is going to happen. Most of the people take credit. We never took credit because I'm patient. Time will come, right? But this has forecasting in forward looking, what is going to happen next kind of thing before it happens. Not only that, it adapts all the dynamic changes in a market. So it's adaptive, right? So anything sense in a risk, it gives you forecasting without too much work. So you see the symbols and it has a risk attached with that from 1 to 6. And there is more than 6, but for initial 2, 3 years, we wanted to have people get used to, right? So they don't be skeptical. There is scale could be more than 6, and eventually we're going to have MetaStock program for us, right? So basically, in keeping simple, 6 on a 0 to 6 scale, 1 is the lowest risk, 6 is the highest risk. So as you go horizontally, we face the time risk. So this is called time risk. So it's a horizontal time risk. So the risks which are having time sensitivity are embedded inside these ribbons, or some people say ribbons, I talk about HTR, means horizontal time risk. because my money is on a line based on a time sensitivity. So I want to know what those risks are and when is the good time. So in short, we're going to talk later. When it's green and when it's the vertical bar, I feel comfortable to pull trigger. And then you got to trust this software. Otherwise, you could be skeptic all day, will never trade. So this plays a big role. So again, forecaster, we talk about what is this yellow color candle? I never see some people. Yes, it is the best thing ever we invented. This is a part of the invention. So it is a warning sign or entry signal for going long. And I want people, there are different kinds of, right? And their position on a vertical and horizontal scale, it has a relationship. So it's just not yellow bar. And I always love multiple time frames. I will give you a little idea of a test. YB4, 4 means what is happening in a 15 minutes I'm projecting here on a daily chart. And they have 4, 3, and 2. I do believe it's 4, 3, and 2, something like a symbols. So you got to pay attention. So this has a meaning. 4 means it is looking at 15 minutes and projecting here. And there will be a time MetaStock can help me to do more detailing because I'm not an expert programmer. I just happen to be needy programmer to trade for myself. That's what it was developed for because I have several businesses, right? And I don't have time, right, to do 3 hours of technical analysis on creating a what do you call it, business plan or whatever is going to happen next day. It does not work. Trust me, by the time you finish 3 hours, whole market changes. Market is very, very sensitive. So those people who doing it, I respect them because I was also teaching people how to create a trading plan. In this market, you don't have time to do 2, 3 hours spending of your lovely time of your life. So I know I don't want to know nothing about all these things. I see yellow bar and a couple of things, I'm done with it. And I'm good to go. So I could trade different things, different markets with the same symbols. So I don't have to learn too much about any new markets. Okay, so what we're going to do, we are going to talk about what is there an incidental. I'm going to talk about magic lines and whatever, right? Is here and there. So we stay focused. So first pattern is this vertical line on a same health window. That means we have a green direction to go long. Software figures all out. You don't need to worry about it. Try to do technicals. It says vertical line. We believe everybody, and we go for it. That's how it works. And that's the number one. This is the number one green direction line. So start paying a little bit more attention how it is been numbered. So this way you start picking up things. So this is number two. So these two parallel lines, which are in a health indicator, they are about the dotted line. They are parallel. That's what it matters, right? So those are the health lines. So the one which is a purple line has a value of 4. Then this blue line has a value of 1, and dotted is the 0 line, which is right here. As long as they are above it, we are bullish. And it has a green circle, so we're going long. Then this is a spike. MetaStock do have inherited spikes, but these spikes and vertical lines are designed differently. So if you are trading with these spikes and you are aware of this spike, but this is a different item, right? It is totally creative way we have done, and it is shifted to the left purposely. So this way you get earlier warning that we going long, and that solved my years of pain when I had to do short covering, right? On the institution side, you're talking about millions of dollars losses if you don't pay attention to. And there is no way I could do it. And I was so frustrated, using oscillators or RSI. Those things work up to a point. But I want pinpoint when. And so I don't have to worry about matching. I forgot even MACD, how it works. I don't know anything anymore. I don't use those things. So I have no idea. right? That was 15 plus years ago now. So I see this forming halfway. I am getting out. That's my exit from short cover, or I do short covering. So that's all that problem. If I'm in a put spread or a put option, I'm taking my profit. That's how I use them, right? And when it is anchored, right underneath this leg is here, that's the time I feel comfortable to pull trigger. And you could go in an open or a close, it doesn't matter, because it's about these two magic lines. And I warn people, these are not the lines you are used to. They are custom made, has nothing to do with traditional stuff, right? They work for people, be my guest. Suppose this is a daily chart, it is designed for daily chart. That tells you enough that they are not those lines. And so we want to talk constructive way. They're working for some people for years, and I was one of them. I'm not using, I don't care. And this worked for me, I'm happy. And it worked for many traders. Okay, so people who missed it probably, I will repeat again. So these numbering systems are here in a simple menu. So you could digest it and you could memorize it. And if you want, you could keep a copy of that because you're going to have a recording. So this is what you need to look for in trading with this 5 ingredients method for a bullish side. So this is, you could see this slide for the chart. Jeff?
Yes, sir.
Okay, then let's go. All right, so what we did it, we put it on a real-time chart and screenshot it. So I want to transfer what you learn into the chart as a whole. So again, number 1 is a direction line. That means we're going bullish. This is for bullish direction. Number 2, 2 lines are parallel. So that's one of the requirement to go bullish. Then the value is 4 for purple line. Value of the blue line is 1. That's good. And this is the dotted line. So as long as these 2 lines are above it, we're good to go. Right? I prefer in the initial stage as much as closer to either vertical line of a direction or entry line for spike. So this way my risk is low based on horizontal time risk. So these are the nuances. Once you start understanding how it's been designed, you will start seeing things very clearly. So you stay closer to that. That doesn't mean you cannot enter it. So we're going to talk in a minute. So first of all, 5 different patterns outside what do you call these other things are there, but you got to train your eyes to identify on the chart. It takes less than few seconds, really. Right? So once you know, you automatically see what you're looking for. And you confirm as a trader, so you get confidence to pull the trigger in shortest period of time because market moves fast. So you got to get in there. So all those 5 numbers are already on the chart. You will have this slide on a recording, so you could practice it. And they are also written down here, so you don't have to scratch your head what that means. So number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5, they're already described there. So now what is the new things, what I would like people to do it? These are the magic lines. It was a bearish and eventually get bullish, but we could still enter, right? So most of the other lines people are used to, they don't like you to enter here. That is not true. And I don't want to get into which institutions I started dealing with him, right? And they told me, your software gives us entries 3, 4, 5 days earlier. So we should be downsize our analysts, because I communicated with them for a few years and they were taking actual trades. And that was giving me a lot of confidence that it works. So basically, yellow bar played a role back in there and is still playing the role. Same situation. So it is about these 2 magic lines, so we could enter. Suppose you're waiting for cross. By the time I could make money and use the profit to defend myself to go up. That's the way I look at the trader. My risk is low because it's a horizontal risk in earlier stages. So it's I could take more risk. I could put more positions there. But that doesn't mean that you got to load everything. But at least my game is to collect from the market profits to defend myself here. And software gives you forecasting, right? So on a scale of 0 to 6, number 2 at the bottom, right? Number 3 is the forecaster. So risk is 2. That's how it's been designed. Very scientific way. And it is telling that we're going to go higher, and it does. So it did. So that helps me to collect more money from the initial reaction. And then they want to retest. Why they retest? I want to give you a clear-cut idea. I anticipate this thing to happen. Why? Because anytime trend change, we want to retest. When I was on institutional desk, this is what the normal is, right? Let's pull back and rebite and let chase everybody out, because this is our game. Why they are there? So we chase everybody out right here, right? In this case, it closed above the both magic lines. So I'm getting in. So I'm looking for a cues. So symbol came in, I don't stop. I just go in there, right? You could trade with daily chart if you know how to trade, or you could do drilling down to smaller time frame if you cannot have perfection in your entry. I prefer to do trade with only bigger time frame and perfect the entry, not for 1 minute kind of situation, but to create zero drawdown or close to zero drawdown situation. So that helps me 5 minutes, 15 minutes, 17 minutes sometimes. Cycle happens without you knowing it. So I'm used to. So I keep changing the same chart, 60-minute chart. I will put 45 and 30 and 20, right? From experience, I know which time they will be trading. I know what they were doing it all these years. So I will go for confirmation that they are there, right? And yellow bar is there, I'm going in there. And that's why I don't have most of the time no drawdowns. There will be always a drawdown penny or two. That's not what we talk about. You want to make big money, then worry about 5 cents and don't do it. Okay, so let's see these symbols. And this is what I was talking about. I knew what I designed, but let me be honest with you, AI was there before even I got involved. I have a friend, he was my business partner in one of the business. He worked for IBM. IBM was developing AI way before people knows. So it is not just kind of, people just started acknowledging, right? And try to make bogus rallies as we saw it, right? But it was already there. How come the big, I don't want to say the name of the company, why in January they started talking about AI, and all this time AI was there? And this is the proof. Forecasting is, software figures all out, and it's not a big deal. But we don't use 10, 15 years data to create this thing. We're looking forward-looking, adaptive way, right? And Jeff will admit it. We did it on a delta, right? On a gamma without option data. How the hell I did it? And it was recently done. And people have eyewitness since 2 years ago, right? How I created that. If I don't have option data, I'm an engineer. I will try to figure out a way to see those things, because basically options are derivatives, right? It was derived from security. So you go back to the basics, right? And we were in a position to accomplish. And that is another example for AI. In your eyes, AI, I try to use engineering here. So we could take credits on all this. At the end of the day, these are all hype and all nonsense, in my opinion. This software has to do what you want to do it. You want to know whether we're going up or not. That's what is bottom line. So it does. And we have to even revise the language from CFT representative. We cannot be guaranteeing anything. So the language came in from the representative. They allow us to use, and I think in one of these slides I could show you later, but we had to use that language. They knew it, that we're forecasting. We're going to the moon. So there is no guarantee, but it is kind of, we're going, and this is, we don't hype. It has been around 15 years, so what's the big deal? And we're not selling this software. Yes, it does its job, proven, right? And there are nuances. You have to learn to exploit this data. Okay, same way we could do on a detailing about bearish side, right? But ideas are the same. Vertical thick line here, big one, number one, which is we going direction bearish. Same way now, these numbers, look, this is a typo. This should be 4, right? But it is written here, but it's a number 2 is a pattern for bearish health lines. So it's not typo. I saw it. So I made the changes today. So number 2 is the one that health lines are below 0 and they are parallel. Number 3 is this spike, same thing what we talk about in an opposite direction. Then pure health, small line just above the horizontal bearish time risk is number 4 and horizontal time risk is number 5. So once you identify, it becomes very easier. So this is how the chart looks like. Same numbering system. Number 1 is direction line, 2 parallel lines on a bearish side. -4 is the value of purple line. -1 is a blue line, and this is your 0 line, and both lines are below it. As long as it's below it, we are bearish. So you don't have to worry about all these technical things. I'm not telling they are bad, but it saves me time. So for me, this is what I want. And hopefully you also want to save some time. So you don't have to worry about all these things. I could show so many recordings, right? Jeff was with me on all worldwide tours, right? I used to teach technical, that's what I knew. But I said, this is crazy. I need to save time, right? So I could spend time with my kids and I accomplished. Now I could most likely don't work in a business, but I always look at the chart, but not like I used to go crazy, right? So it gave me freedom now, that is for sure. And I accomplished a lot of things now, which I could not do before. Okay, so same forecaster entries, where to enter. This is the bearish entry, just like yellow bar. This is opposite to that. That's indigo bar. So we could enter here. Then we missed the boat, so what? We could enter into put symbols here, and it went down. So everybody who trading puts, what that means. And number -5. Same way in a bearish direction. It also goes to scale from 1 to 6, right? 0 is the start. So 1 becomes relative or relevant. So number 1 is the lowest risk. So number 5 it is still, there are different color of candles. You could see it. This was a scientific breakthrough because everybody thinks that buy means same thing, green color, same thing. No, it is not true. We got the pattern, so you can't dispute it. So all different colors has a different price sections, right? There is a price sectional risk, which people did not know 15 years ago. I traded on institutions that I knew that something is happening, but I did not know why. So I got the clues from seasoned traders that they were using certain things. I said, that's not the way. I don't want to talk to you after, right? So I want to see in a real chart, right? And I figured out. And this color means major institution come with a boatload of money. Not always boatload, but kind of. We used to call them clip, right? Just like a paper clip. So that means 50,000 shares at a time. That's what it means. If you are from old school, right? Like in a currency, I learned yard. You will say, what the hell is that? Half a yard, all right? Give me half a yard, a quarter yard. So that's an acronym. They use it for language. Same thing, clip means 50,000 shares at a time. If you are not old-timer, you won't know even what is SPOOs. Old-timers know S&P futures, SPOOs. So these are the things you could test people how long they've been trading. So I'm not a smart trader. I'm a street fighter. I want to save my money and don't lose money because that's a hard thing to reverse, right? And I'm very emotional. So I had to learn a lot of risk management. I paid somebody for 8 months, $64,000. And I was almost expelled from the floor in front of my eyes. My wife was present there. So it's insulting. No, I took it and I wake up that I was a gambler, not a trader. So they restrained me for 3 months. I cannot trade more than 100 shares. How do you feel about it? We have a lot of money in a bank account, you can't trade. That was the part of discipline. To constrain myself, emotional roller coaster, I cannot have it. And I got punished. So you have to understand the ultimate, I cannot thank enough. And this guy, I'm not going to say the name, he is one of the best S&P future trader in the world. He keeps very low profile. And I have seen and I witnessed it, people calling him for advice. What do you think? And you're not talking about small traders. People who take in billion-dollar positions, they're calling him, all right? And this guy was so accurate, his drawdown was close to zero. And I can't thank enough. That was my turning of my life, my defining moment. So hopefully you guys try to understand where we're coming from, why I created this thing, all right? I created for me, an institution. And Jeff was nice, Kelly was nice. They took the pain. It took them a long time, even though I gave them the code, because they have to protect me, and it took a long time. And I'm not a programmer, so I created a mess. I was getting around trading, so it didn't matter. Right? So try to understand where everything is. So this is the way I find them. And current version has it. We have advanced much more. And I want to give you an idea. We have 19 plus versions of Magic Trader. That doesn't mean you're going to get all 19. For me, it was used for institutional client all these years. And we're going in a retail to minimize, and we lower our standard of many features so it could be affordable and easier, right? So we also learning retail end, even though I had a substantial track record with same MetaStock, but this whole thing is kind of you driving Bentley and we giving to the guy who can afford, right? That's the way the software is originally. So we tried to scale it down to fit into retail end. So it's not overwhelming, but institution, they get it. I will tell you, 15 minutes, I'm done telling them what as a training, and they get it. It's funny, but they get it because they're real traders. So you got to learn their language. That's what I'm trying to tell you. So another problem I'm seeing it, people have different symbols and whatever. They're putting 200 data here. I'm going to get all the symbols like me, right? And plus, MetaStock did a favor to them. Their senior technician create a layout for you with 18. And all these difficulties to fit in my old style indicators for other versions, 17 and down, they did a great job. So all these things, they made it so simple. So follow their factory design layout, right? They did a great job. And I do believe Jeff killed himself to do it again. Kill me. So much time, it took him about a week of his time. So they're really putting time behind the scene to make it work. So you don't need to worry about Bentley prices, but at least we're giving you those kind of things in affordable prices. Institution clients, they pay much more in data feed, and we don't sell it to them with the same prices with Magic Trader. We just refuse 2 of them, but they don't want to spend money. No. Jeff will tell you, no, I make choices. They have to pay prices. And so retail people can have a better deal. That's what really is happening. So please I'm using 1250. You do whatever you want, right? Your data or symbol doesn't show properly. 2 things I could tell you is data, what you're scanning is not giving you enough results. Plus your charts are having x-axis not proper setup, and MetaStock tech support can help you. So this way you could see my chart matching yours. Please do so to avoid the frustration. So this comes as a standard. There are 39. Jeff will talk about it. I'm trying to speed up now because we lost some time today in difficulties. So this is what came in on 17. I purposely don't do current date so I don't get in trouble from compliance that we are inducing people to buy and sell. Then the lawyers will choke me, right? Why you did that? So now things are different. We can't do a lot of things. And we learned from news security law from 2 years ago that certain things they don't want us to do in our social media. So we lose sales, but nothing I could do about it. Okay, so the basic things, what you see, the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it is right here. So this is your direction line. This is that health line, 2 lines parallel. Then this is the green line, right, which is a spike. Then it's a pure health green. Then ribbon or horizontal time risk and catalyst. So if there is no catalyst, you could still trade, but there are catalysts, either yellow bar, turquoise bar, or a black bar. They're already there. So besides yellow bar, there is a black bar you could use to your advantage. That means trend is changing. It's a warning sign. You could take the entries, look at the smaller time frame. Suppose you have a black candle here on a daily and a small one, 60 as a yellow bar, earlier than you could imagine. Go in there. And then you drill it down further from 60 minutes to 10 minutes of find another similarity of yellow bar. And your drawdowns is almost none. And that's how we're doing it, multiple time frame that way, without using multiple time frame. 15 chart, we don't need 15 chart. So this is the chart, right? I do believe this should be, I don't know why, it should be 17. I don't know why I did what I did, but basically, yeah, I broadcasted in the last one, ARSH, that date came from that, but what happened after that, I'm trying to show. So basically, we show somewhere 7 date, but let's see here. On 17, right, basically, we had this C1, which is the advanced price perceptor. This itself is an invention, and call sign was there, but the catalyst was earlier than that within the spike. You could either enter here because it closed above the magic line, or you could enter here, doesn't matter. And you had 3 days of ride. And this is the pullback symbol, you get out, that's what I do. And then this is the mean risk reversion area. So you get back into the forecasting symbol. Or right here is another entry, and then you had a ride again. You could take the profits out, right? I don't ever want to say averaging business, people do all kind of stuff, but I like to trade within low risk, which is here. Then I try to trade when the symbols are there. I try to take out my profit when PB sign is there, and I re-enter there. There's no commission right now, so why not? And then it's selling, it's going to go to the moon again, but it's color red. That means risk is there. Put a tight stop. As soon as it starts going down, you don't need to wait until close. Get the hell out of that. Oh, there is spike. No. Either you take the profit, recoup yourself, or regroup yourself, and you could re-enter it, but book the profit or put a tight stop. I don't use have profit this way, that way. I just want to get the hell out of that, right? I trade at my terms. So I don't have to stay in trade too long. And meanwhile, look at the business common sense. We could use it. Suppose it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days. You're losing 5 days worth of opportunity, being stubborn. So what is wrong? Oh, we don't trade. We are long-term investor. If you are long-term investor, you have to have proper strategy, which I told Jeff was there last time. I'm in trade with Triple M, and I'm still there. But I use what strategy? Merit puts. I could do a collar, but one is enough for me. So I'm not, that particular trade, right, it went to from 103 is approximate my price to 112, 113. And what I did it, get rid of that put. I roll it now. It is having certain criteria. So I rolled that whole thing to December 25. Right? I paid the price, but I'm glad I did. It went to 108. So I could get out today. Still, I will make money. And I'm getting dividends. right? I will collect 9 dividends. I already collected 2. $150, $140 in dividends. That pays most of the married put premium for put side. And $500 or whatever it is, predetermined risk, I'm collecting from the stock movement. So I could do claim that I did long-term position, but different strategy with a hedging. So don't listen to people, listen to what you want to do it, right? So in this case, I am not going for long-term for this ARS. 3M has a history of paying dividend. That's where I'm offsetting my risk, right? Of market utilizing the dividend to buy my put side and hedge it. So this way I could sleep well. Imagine sometimes two contract, no, 30 contract. What do you do? You have to control your risk. That strategy I've been using many, many years. And last 3 years, because of the market condition, I often use. That doesn't mean I'm going to make all the time money if they reduce the dividend. Nothing I could do, right? So you make less profit or lose some money. So what? But it is within my tolerance. I don't have 50% loss on security. So I pay the price. So learn to pay the price. I'm giving some idea to some people, right, who doesn't know the risk management. You got to hedge it and you got to learn it. Options are good instrument to hedge it. Or learn futures and you could hedge with the futures. If you're going long, hedge with the future. How to do it then? You got to learn. So everybody got some trading ideas, some street smart things, right? And how to exploit this software. So let's move on. Another one, which was 55 HRS. So we're not going to go into detail much, but this is the way I found it. Now, this was on a 5.5. What I'm trying to tell you, it is working the same security 5.5 and 2 months later, regardless what happened to the. Okay, now I remember when we started. So on a date 5.5 we started, and you know the end, how it looks like. So we don't want to spend much time. Symbols are there. You're going to have an access to this thing. And it was forecasting to go higher even way before we saw the end results, right? So it was telling from long time we're going to go to the moon. It was risk high, so it pulls back at one point. So you got to expect the pullback at one point. Take your money and run. That's what I would suggest. As long as you are in money, you don't need to be a day trader, but calculated risk. It says the red color, it is away from that, put a tight stop. And for your knowledge, and it is proven, and hopefully some people are here, I'm showing them the proof from institution side when they're taking position on a dark full side. I have data, right? And option data when they're taking option positions, right? And I'm showing what is color happening. And I did all my homework, documented every single thing, right, for many years, because I used to call my friends on Wall Street, hey, my software showing this symbol. What do you did? Oh, we went long. Oh, and they used to share a lot of things which I don't want to disclose here, right? Because they have their own limitation. I become friends. Thank God to Reuters at that time. And the guy is not around, so don't Google him. Craig Russell, and Jeff knows him. He was one of the nicest guy who worked for Reuters. He opened up my doors to many institutions because he liked me. We were in Chicago. Jeff was there, right? And many of our friends were there in Chicago event. And he introduced me a lot of heavy duty institutional traders. And I kept the relationship. Then when I designed this software, I said, I'm designing this software. I want to know from your side, what are you doing? Right? So I got a lot of confirmation. Even today, anybody who's from my room, they could put it out there. And Jeff, if he has the time, he will read it. They have eyewitness this thing. What are the symbols? The trainings are recorded that type A institutions coming, they're coming, and we have the proof. So people don't need to be a skeptic. We are on a recorded line. You got to be careful what you say here. We have proofs. I'm getting tired of recording, and it takes a lot of my training time. But somebody is skeptical, we could show them. and you have to sign confidentiality agreement because there is some sensitive information. This is what we already did. So the chart was there. So I'm just was reminding people. So you could also have it, and you could go on a 417 date and see what happened after that. This was in a daily, then this was in a weekly. Look what happened. This is where we talked about, if I remember right. This is weekly, so 17 is part of that. But the journey started right from yellow bar. And again, 3.3, a little bit high risk, but software was telling buy calls. You see the results over and over and over. We see this thing happening. But while you are here, I want to say, suppose you miss the boat. So what? Look at here, right? And two lines are parallel, turquoise bar, there's a catalyst. This one doesn't need to be perfect 5 thing matching every time, but you could also trade because of the catalyst. Invention came from my first pattern, right? Jeff told you the name, Forex Traders Advantage. At that time, we filed for patent for a bunch of claims on a basis of cumulative desire to buy and sell securities in multiple time frame. I have the patent still, after all these years, still active. So this turquoise bar came from there, and golden bar came from there. So this is a continuation of the previous trend here. And they have 3 functions. I'm just giving you here and there some hint. So they are there for a reason. So the continuation of trend, continuation of trend, continuation of trend. And then people took profit, right? We still close above it, but I just get out at those times. I'm making money, so I want to stay in there. So more you go horizontal, more trouble is there on a risk basis. Again, I told you the gap. So this is the gap between 2 pure health indicator, right? Look at here. Even though we were going down, what this software is telling, we're going to the moon, right? Here is telling we're going to go higher. Here is telling that institutions are buying. So we're going there, whatever they do. Even though, according to technical analysis, it closed below the open. Who cares? I go there because institutions do so. I was one of them. So I know what is happening. And my risk is low. So I will be a buyer somewhere in between. I could put an entry order when it comes in, right? Or I could put several entry orders right here in between, and I take a shot. And I also look at 60 minutes, what is happening, so I get a better entry on that day. So these are the things you will have to learn eventually. But even though you don't, but use common knowledge. There is a low risk, and software is telling we going. So look for a better entry where there is no or less drawdown. My whole biggest thing is I want to have a perfect close to 0 drawdown. Otherwise, sometimes if I don't find it, I don't take the trade. Even though it goes higher, I don't care. I stick by rules. That's what I would tell you. This was discussed before. So for people who wants to go through these slides instead of the previous one, be my guest and look what happened after we broadcasted. It went up after the webinar. You see that, right? So we are trying to now step up because I have more time. What we spoke about 2 months ago, what did happen after the webinar? Did it went up? We talked about this one to enter here. There was a bull, yellow, right? On a grassroots, buying is coming. Magic lines are great. Green over red, good to go. Right? We don't want to talk about this blue line, but it is about the blue line. That's what you need to know. Good to go. Make it simple. Everything is there for a reason. It's kind of overwhelming some, but once you know, it is same thing. Here is on a bearish side, right? We're going to short it down because we are going to be running out of time because of certain things. Because I want to really introduce you this new pattern, which has a good things happening with that pattern. So pay attention, all right? And you could find so many YouTubes with a MetaStock. We talk about all these ingredients or patterns or whatever name it is. So here, bearish side, you get with the software, scan it, right? It may not have what you call indigo bar. So what? You could still get the trade. So don't limit yourself. If it is there, if it is not in daily chart, open up at 240, it will be there, or even 120. So you pick up that because those are, good size, 3 hours steady flow or 4 hours. It tells you the story that something is changing earlier than daily. So look what is happening here. Same way, bearish entry, number one, parallel lines below zero, spike, we have an entry spike. So you go on the next one and make sure it is below the magic line. That's the key. And then you could enter here, enter many places here, many places, because it's forecasting. Look, forecasted we're going to go down. That's the forecaster. 4.3, right? That's the entry number 2. Where is the entry number 1? Here is the entry number 1, which is right here on the side. You got to follow these lines. So you enter here, then you could add. So people blindly averaging. Why you do that? You have to have a logic, scientific reason. So this is the reason I added, not just averaging. Don't do it. Please don't do it. Magic zone levels, if we skip one zone level, those were the levels forecasted by the software. So there will be buying coming through. Then you look at the software and you will get small ride. Even many times you get, even on a downtrend, temporary trade for hour, 2 hour, 3 hours, swing trade. But professional, what we do, we short at that time on a controversy trade. That's what I used to do. If it goes next to the magic line, I keep shorting, even though it goes higher. So I get a tick, rules followed, right? Not only that, I make more money that way because I could sustain, because I know it's going to go down. It's forecasting. So at one point, it moved from bottom to the top. So if you look at the smaller time frame, there will be yellow bar or whatever, and you could trade intraday as a day trader, but you have to know we are going down. So I use that not to go long. I want to go in a way that I could short it from somewhere here. So I could go into the next ride and I collect some more money. So, and I take profits. As soon as it starts moving higher, I short it here. So why want to stay in there? I could always come in here, short it more. So if I don't want to put money into that, that's my, I rotate my money whenever I'm trading, so I could put into new opportunity. So this is your personal choices, how to manage your risk, how to rotate your risk. Because if this has an ATR of $2 and the other one has a $1, I want to get out of $1. At that time, it's okay. Right? There was nothing happening somewhere. So I went into there, took a ride as a scalper, right, to collect the money to defend myself here. And this has a 2 ATR, so my chances of making money faster. But I was waiting for that here until I get my moment. So I take my money out and ready for another battle. So these are my personal choices. I learned this thing because an institution, I started a prop firm, right? And we were given $10 million per day, right? I was a partner there, right? But we using institutional 1 to 20 leverage, all right? And institution money, plus they make us put our money. Otherwise, you don't belong there. So you've got to put your skin in a game. And now we got to spend $10 million by the end of the day. 5 million going long, 5 million going short. And this was one of the best prop firm, and eventually it was bought out by one of the publicly traded companies. So I was transferred there, where I saw a lot of actions. And they were big deal with pants clearance, if you know anything about pants, right? Orders, we're talking about order flow coming, a huge order flow coming there, huge. That changed my views of a lot of things. And second was traditional securities. They allow me to go there. There were 180 brokers, Goldman Sachs calling, Citibank calling. All right, I want to spend $500 million. buy me with this price. What the hell is that? They're telling this level to that level. What does that mean? Where did that come from? I'm putting back together all in my mind as an engineer. There is some science they follow, but nobody wants to tell me anything. I was allowed to go there listening to this thing for hours. I said, wow, this is fascinating. But they were very nice. I'm still friends. They're good people. Good people. And by the way, if you don't know, they owned FXDD. So that helped me also. So I got a long history of many places there. But I don't talk much about it. Once in a while I will talk because today is a free time. All right. So here we go. I want people to learn, even though we talk about ingredient, where to go back. So as soon as you see -5, get the hell out of that, because this is a controversy. I could put this symbol at the bottom or whatever, but I kept it for a reason. So this way, this is my last call to take out my profit. All right. And people have seen it, -3 and -5. These are the clues I'm giving you. Does have significant in institution side, right? I figured out, right? And this color of the candle, it can go either way. So they could further go to E and F color candles, but here they reverse. And fortunately, design of spike help us. So it is telling totally 3 time frame, 1, 2, and 3 time frame. So at least in a formation of the left-hand side, and MetaStock gives you the, I think, PDF, it explains how this thing works. So please, MetaStock customer, do not go blindly trade and assume this is the same thing what we learned. No, I want it to be different. And I had a meaning behind this thing, why I want certain ways. So I was struggling, literally, on institution side. Where is the ideal time for me to short cover without doing all these calculations, right? And I want to know in a minutes, right? Or just in this case, it doesn't take you a minute. In seconds, you recognize spike is forming half piece. Half piece does happen the 3rd day. Get the hell out of that. And if you see yellow bar, that's your death sentence on a smaller time frame. You want to get out, please, because I have lost money not knowing when I was on issue. There's no science available, which is the right timing. So this helping me as a timing to when to take my last piece of the pie, right before I lose my shirt, my profits. So these are the things are embedded in the software. You've got to take time to learn these things. And all my pain for years, I embedded here. All the solutions. People don't believe anything, doesn't matter. But it is happening. Again, this was gap down, right? So what to do? It is indigo bar, just beginning. Put here is a 2++, so that means it has a juice left. So I take a position for put option, and look at what happened. Oh, this is how, and the magic line I call it a fire hose connection. Look at this fire hose expanding. What are you waiting for? And here, health is in your favor. There's nothing, no deviation, and it is fire hose connection here, fire hose connection, and it could go to, I have seen go to -8. You're talking about oversold. I don't follow any of those things. I don't want to bring it back, the bad memory, which I was a victim too. Before pandemic, when administration said, 2-3 months, well, we will be all right. Yeah, all right. Magic lines and everybody telling me going 2-3 years forecasting levels. People think I'm crazy. It was not supposed to go away for a long time. And I wish we had a solution back in days. But it was a sad situation to talk about it. And I had a COVID. Just think about it. And nothing I could do about it. Just before my surgery, all right, I don't normally talk publicly my health much. I had a major surgery to do it And I was advised, I'm not going to make it more than 2, 3 years. And that was before November last year. And I still carried every single webinar, whatever the commitment I made it with MetaStock. Even after surgery, I have not waited more than 5 hours. I was doing something because that's my passion. It has nothing to do with money. I had all these, I call them ropes, death ropes, all IVs and everything, all over my place, right? And I was making phone calls. I said, why not? Doctor, nurse, what are you doing? You're not supposed to do anything. You got to take 8 months rest. I said, I don't even have 8 hours. I have commitments. And just this is what you need to make commitment. That's what I'm giving you. I'm a living proof. There is no bullshit here. It's a reality. Excuse my language, ladies, but people seeing me day after day, I have a lot of time commitment for this software. This is the way legacy will be there. All right, so this is what we did it before. Hopefully we can time. You have these slides, you could dissect whatever it is, 5 ingredients right on top here, numbers are there, right? And you could learn at your own pace. That's why we're giving recording. This is where the thing came from. However, look at before this date, I put those same thing, multiple opportunities are created. It is not necessary to line up every single thing. That's the message on this slide. And this is what I discussed before. And you had a second life, right here to here. And then again, -5 came in, get out. Bull, don't buy it because we are below the magic lines. And then you short it right here. So multiple trades can be generated with this technology. That's what the message is. Again, we don't talk often. There will be a time waiting for a day because this itself is a science. No disrespect to any Fibonacci. This is we got the pattern, so I could talk about it. It has nothing like Fibonacci. These horizontal lines are not designed like Fibonacci, but it is adaptive. Also dynamic changes it does, and it forecasts at the same time. So suppose this level is here, but it was forecasted maybe 2 months ago, 2 days ago, software does automatically everything. So before I get there, I have already levels, so I'm more prepared. So that's what I want to do. And certain levels, you will see dynamic changes with your own eyes, and they have different patterns. And that itself, if I go on a recordings, that will take 4 weeks of recording. This was the toughest challenge with the pattern examiners. They can't understand these things, right? And they give me the toughest examiner to, beat me up, right? But there are many, many things, including forecasting, those get created because of these lines. Fibonacci cannot forecast it. So don't think these are Fibonacci. That doesn't mean the Fibonacci is bad. I use it back in days. That's what I had. All right. And forecaster, everything works same way with that. But the levels values are already predetermined by the software. So you know where to put a stop here, right here. Or put it stop just about this green magic line if you want to. Or put it on top of red, whatever you like it. Again, this is weekly. So here we got forecasting. And don't kid yourself, there's a big price differential between these two lines. Only thing is squeezed, right? But we knew it's going to go there. So I just want to teach you that damn thing works. You got to believe it. And this level was first started how many weeks ago? Much more than at least 03/23 that we're going to go there. What are you looking for? A setup. So this is another way strategy. I use it, right? It works. And this 3 spike pattern has a many scientific reason why. And breaking up this level, pulling the trigger, right? It was a pullback to stay here, but that broke and closed below it on a weekly chart. So we're going down, and there is a forecaster forming. So we could take a ride. So if you are like a big time weekly chart trader, this is your deal, all right? And it was forecasting here, we're going to go, who was buying? Institution, right? Now you said, oh, this was the level, but this is weekly, so you have to learn what is happening on a daily, because I don't have technology, multiple time frame yet, right, to show levels in daily, and you're going to find the levels where it had a problem. So similar zone lines on a daily 60-minute is there, but we don't see here, right? Eventually I'll figure it out, but that's in the future. But I just have to look at the daily chart. So for your knowledge, I always have first on the left-hand side, my monthly chart, then weekly chart, my daily chart, then 60 minutes. If I need to drill it down to 45 minutes, I will change. MetaStock has a wonderful, wonderful methodology, right? In this place, you click W and you could convert into D. 60-minute is the one I use often because I already have daily. So 60 minutes will tell you how to refine your entry. So if 60 minutes is not having yellow bar or has a, the stick or a tail, I'm looking for the time frame doesn't have the tail. That's what I'm looking for, but must have yellow bar and lining up the direction line as well as the spike has to line up. So this way I feel more comfortable. So I have few patterns in my favor. That's the whole idea. And meanwhile, what I do while I'm waiting for the right thing, I do scalping because I collect some money from the market, don't get bored waiting and waiting. And then I use that profit to defend myself because you put a stop or a mental stop. So you're going to lose some profit or some money. So let them pay for it. Utilizing software. It is like that you bought a house, right? Whether you live there or not, you still have to pay a mortgage. Or you buy a shop, you close it at 8 o'clock in the nighttime, but you still 24/7, you got to pay the interest to the bank. So this is what it is. So here, another stock was discussed back in days. So you could take this information and see what happened after that. You don't need me to prove anything. Look at here. It had a forecasting. That means it went down. And if it did not went down, see if there was a reversal. That's how I do. I don't worry about all this stuff. But indigo bar is forming. Okay, this is the advance. When I see a spike and both lining up, I don't wait until go. I will take a ride here, right? Almost somewhere here. And I will take my profit and re-short it here. Why not? Oh, Peter, you told me, but there is a spike. It's telling me we're going down. It's half forming. And this also showing up, that means we're going down. So you don't need a perfection. That's what I'm trying to tell you. But if you want to do perfection, okay, this was the perfection. The base of the spike was that, but it's too late if you wait for the end of the day. So do something, at least, and as a technical trader, when it breaks this, that means major support level. So I will go back technical. So you could do transition of your skill set you already developed, right? And here was the trigger, trend change. That's what it was telling, but this was the hype. And short covering did happen. Some news came out. I don't know what happened. And then they realized we were idiots to go long. And smart traders short the hell out of that. So many low float stock behaves like that. Right? Once you understand the gamma squeeze, which we don't have time to teach you, I'm going to make it very short because every recording has it. My credit goes to my lovely daughter. She was very young, right? And she really spent her young life instead of hanging around outside, right? In a nice word, she chose to help me in my business because in 2001, I had a stroke. I lost my speech, right? And my left-hand side was frozen, and I'm a fighter. I forced myself to speak again. And it took me from 2001 to 2000, I think 11 or 13, I first time touched my both hands in the air in aerobic, and I have hundreds of students, eyewitness, but they all knew that I couldn't lift my leg in aerobics, but that was the part of the things to help me touching my hands. And now you will never know that I had a stroke business. It took me a while to get out of this thing, but anything is possible. All doctors, oh, you have frozen shoulder or whatever, steroid did not work, nothing worked. I said, hell with all. So I had a bodybuilder, professional bodybuilder. I said, I want you to move physically. 6 months, every session I cried. And it started working eventually. It took me a lot of years to get there. So basically, you could read it later. She has the licenses, right? And every single thing, every business we have, these are direct commitment of what kind of businesses I'm involved with. Right? Some of them I minimize because I rotate, right? Because market cycles, right? Renewable energy. We were in a solar many, many years back. I was one of the few doing carbon credits back in days in 2011 until European Union screwed it up, right? Then there is no money. We become very competitive. We got to move on. And solar things I was doing in very beginning, right? We learn in engineering, right? Solar. And I don't want to go into much details, but I was involved with one of the defense company, indirectly with one of the inventor here, who happened to be inventor, grandfather was inventor of seatbelt. That's the closest I could give you the clues. And basically, my daughter was involved with all of these things. Because children are the best trusted sources. They get things done. And she works for publicly traded company. We're not authorized. They made her keep it secret now. So, and I don't ask her anything. True professional way. She will never say, and I don't ask any intel there. So she lose her reputation. And we have my software does. Even I'm the one who told them this is what is going to happen before 2020 crash, right? So one of the money manager in that company in New York, I sent him my findings. He said, get out of here. And then later on, they published it. 2020 crash, I sent them the evidences. I didn't do anything where my daughter works. Because I want to keep her away from all this trouble. That's what you do as a parent. Myself, everybody knows a lot of things. You could read it later. I'm a just kind of trader. I don't consider myself as a smart trader, street smart trader. So I know what not to do. Again, I do analysis very selective way. We just started up 200 people. Why? They don't want to go to the site and agree to disclaimer. We put disclaimer. WhatsApp is not the place Lawyer wants it. We put tons of disclaimer in every damn message I got to put it in. Lawyer says everybody has to go and agree to disclaimer. And that also protects MetaStock because they know who's coming and going. We have a transparency. Every time registered MetaStock knows who is going in a Magic Trader site. And we disclose right there. And we don't sell your database. Only person we give is MetaStock because we're doing business together. We can't hide from them. And that's stupid if you do it. So this is the code you use. So we track, right? And Jeff also can relate that you were attending there. So you got some kind of flexibility. All right. And believe me, a lot of things. I don't want to talk about it. Before this market went down, I told people what is going to happen in writing. Every day I write, but you got to sign your life because I don't feel comfortable talking general public and all education. So I'm not advising anybody anything. But if any trader there, they could put it out the message for Jeff to read it. Any trader, every single thing I say, when was the time? I could be wrong. 99% things happen. Otherwise, I don't say nothing. And it's been going on for years. You should put it out there so that people know what is really happening. I was the one in writing, and I saw the evidences. 2008 crash. I put it in 2006. I started covering since Asian crisis. I was the first one to challenge carry trade. Everybody's buying US, what do you call, GBP, JPY, and I'm telling people it's going to crash. And people think I'm crazy. I was going overseas from airport. I called money manager, right? I don't want to put their names. And I said, one of the women had a $20 million in that trade. I said, get out, because she has a license. I have a license. I could talk, right? But I said, this is wrong. You start taking profit. Oh, I remember 240, all the way it went down to then 165 in a couple of months. And everybody was so hot about carry trade. I said, this is a death sentence. My software was telling me, not me. So it is not after the fact. These are all out there documented in groups, private groups, in writing. So it's not after the fact. We're going to be quicker. People who think that only this is good for stock, no, it's good for anything, including people so COVID time. If Refinitiv gives us data, we could plot anything. So we don't need to worry about counting anything. MetaStock as a data, we could plot them. And Magic Trader works on everything. This is the risk-based software. You could read it. Every single thing about risk, it is part of this software. So this way, risk transfer, control, analytical side, identifying excess risk, reducing how to reduce the risk. Software has incorporated and risk forecasting, which is we just talked about today. So this is what I accomplished. I was never home. I'm home now for many years. And pandemic helped us, and my health helped me. Okay, we're not going to talk bad about these tools. They are good to people who use it. So I don't have any vendetta against them, but I don't use them. I get rid of them from my life. But once in a while, to prove the point, because we have technical traders coming into the room and we transiting them into less pain work, right? So we talk about Doji, or I don't plot MACD. I don't even know how to plot it anymore. I don't, even RSI, I got to probably ask Jeff where those indicators are. Fibonacci I know because it's right on one of this side of the MetaStock, so you can't miss that. I have no idea about T lines anymore, right? So all these things, trend lines I draw sometimes because of the technical guys, but Magic Trader, you don't need those lines. Don't. If you want to use it, I'm not against that. So let's talk. I urge people to pay please attention. This will open up a door for you and for existing and new guys. This is very easy to identify, but you got to be patient. We don't have scanner. I do have it. That doesn't mean I'm going to give it to you. It's been designed months and years ago. But how many things you could follow? But I felt today to give you some surprise. So there is a hope, very simple way. You always have to learn 5 ingredients because you could incorporate them. But this is very easy to identify, and it happens often. And there is a secret I'm going to reveal. Please pay attention, read these slides 10 times, and digest what I'm trying to tell you. It's awesome, not because I said that you're going to say the same word. So it's simple things in a health indicator. And people have seen it was right under your nose and you don't know what is happening because I never explained. Right? Because I don't want to overwhelm people. Even people with me 10 years, 15 years, I don't discuss all these things, not because I don't want to. They get overwhelmed. But there are timing now. They've been here 3-4 years since we released. So it's time for them to open up a door for them. And for you guys, just learn it. And you could, right off the bat, start doing it. And later, I got to talk to Jeff, so I'm not promising anything. But because anything I do, I discuss with them, so there is no surprises. There are occasions I open my mouth, but that is not fitting to the things we agreed 15, 17 years ago. Because I like to help traders, so I got carried away, right? I go beyond my obligation. This December, I made a decision. I tried not to do it. So I consult with every single thing to Jeff, Kelly, or Scott, and I do not want any controversy. And I'm publicly speaking. So there is a harmony. So they could be in a position to help you better. So I don't create trouble. So I want to help people at one point, and especially this will not be given public because it's not officially given this, but I'm opening a door for you. Eventually we will do it, right? But there is a possibility, right? You will get this software, but you don't get this scanner to find them. So what? I flip the chart, 500 charts every day. You find once a week, you will see what that means. Especially on a bigger time frame, that's your ticket. That doesn't mean daily doesn't work. It does work, but weekly is a big thing. So the software ignores all this because they know we're going to go higher. So this is ignoring, or you could call it artificial or whatever intelligence we're using there, right? It is there since 2006. So whom I had to prove? But it's working. It is working, right? Here is telling me. So you're going to click here and see what language was approved by regulator. Approved means reviewed. We cannot even use approved thing. They took time. There was another language, because I was telling that in the future it's going to go higher. No, they dictated me what will keep me in the line with their rules. So I did it. What's the big deal? But there is no guarantee I could ever give that it's going to go higher. We cannot. So it may happen. It is happening many times. So, but this is the way law works. We cannot guarantee anything. So here is the double V pattern. It's a repeat pattern, right? So this is the clean version without all this jig-jag here, how to get out. You could get out right here. That's why I put the new slide. As soon as it starts forming, get out or get out here, go in there. And look here, another, it is high risk, but even the close below open goes by. But there is a thing I know reveals some technical secret. This, right, it's like a fireworks, right? Big bar, right? There is a huge interest in there from institution, right? They are the one who's pushing it. So they're taking profit going horizontal. But my software is telling me we're going to go higher. How we know? Parallel lines, right? Everything looks good. Here is a health indicator. There is no gap here. This is even negative. There's no gap. So what is wrong with you to believe it? So you got another ride here. You got out here, another ride. And this could be to $5 a share. I don't know, right? How much is the ATR? That much at least you expect, right? Or expected level. Go to option side and see what is the expected move. And that's how you know. So there are so many ways you could do the intel you learn from different sides. You got to be trading. You got to do it, right? Look, you got out here and double spike came in. So what? Here it says we're going to go hard. You believe this software, then we took a ride again. They keep on going. So I don't wait, right? And I use that as an entry point, double spike. So all the selling is done. They couldn't close below it. So let's go back. That's what it is. They tried to change the direction, but there was no interest on many institutions' side. So they took the profit. Yeah, we took the profit. But we are still in mean risk reversal area. You need to learn these things. So then you will enjoy this. Another security. It comes double. Look, the trend started somewhere here, right? We got the yellow bar, close about the magic line. So this cross, I don't wait for it. It does not matter to me. I get earlier entry, I do scalping, I make money. Then I put more money here because everything is lining up, right? So again, double V, repeat, repeat, repeat. So this is the new trend, right? So forget about all these things. You missed it, you missed it. So what? We pay a little bit more price, but V formation in double V format, you can't make things up. And it's perfect parallel lines. Everything is perfect. And the key here is the neutralization. So I know that all selling is done. I don't think this technology exists with a confidence. You could tell it, we have the pattern for these things. This is a discovery itself, to pinpoint when all sellings were done. And I will tell you, there are different kinds. You got to relate this one with this bar. So you have a double check. So all the risks are lining up, all the selling is done. Even the indigo bar is supposed to go down. That's another way, technical way you could say, oh, this has a tail and it grows about. Okay, so we're going higher. So what I did say wrong, it was a green ribbon to start with, so you could come in here. But there was supposed to be a plan, and it was failed plan, right? This was the profit taking, if you really put it together. So I would people to start with there and try to learn when this thing happens, what is over there and what is over here. Then you could look at the smaller time frame. You could trade here too. But today, I urge people to start doing paper trading. Whoever has the magic trader, finding those things. And catalyst with that is mind-boggling. No, it's too late. No, we had another life here. Oh, there was no symbol. So change a couple of experts. We have 2-3 experts and see what is out there. Or best way to do it, the smaller time frame has those forecasting. They have yellow bar, either this day or that day. And we are very close to mean risk reversion area. I wish I have time to track every damn setup like this. I have a scanner. I made it for myself, but I do not have time to scan. So I open up the chart, I look at it, okay, this is, and it was telling me to go to the moon anyway. So let's go. I'm not waiting. This is even a blessing. You could enter here at the close or at the open, or look at the smaller time frame on that day, and you have the ride. And look at here. This is like unbelievable. But you got to learn how to find those things. I think this is this last slide for that. Then we will have Chat TV probably coming in here. So look at here. It happens again and again and again. So when they take the profits like that, mean risk reversion area, even though risk is higher compared to horizontal risk here, but again, the neutral ribbon, again, the mean risk reversion, again is matching, again, forecasting. This happens many, many times. I don't want to use all the time, many, many times. You just have to find it. And I always miss a lot of opportunity because I'm very risk-oriented guy, right? So this thing happens to be helping me to take the risk, because as soon as the V formation, that means new life. And forecasting is there. That's my backup plan. And it is in a mean risk reversion area. You can't go wrong. But this will not work with your regular lines. I don't want to name it because this has nothing to do with that. We had to develop different way, and these are customized, weekly, daily, 50. We have done all the way to 5 minutes magic lines. But that will jam your computer because I don't want to say much, but I don't want to really say, but billions of calculations per second. And you may not have this software or what you call computer with their capacity. Jeff, please take it over. I really appreciate all the delays. I really wanted to teach this thing, right? And I didn't hold any bars, no secret. Go ahead, people who has it and people don't have it, get this software. Find one strategy like this will change your trading.
All right, thank you, Peter. Again, I want to apologize for all the technical issues today. Usually it's not this bad, but in any case, great job. That's a very, very interesting pattern, Peter. There's a couple comments that we have, and then I kind of want to just show a few things in the software. But I want to read these to you while we have you here with us, Peter. Dakari came in and says, Dakari. How do you pronounce that? What's the best way to say that? I always feel like I'm messing up the pronunciation on that.
Dakari.
You've told me that before.
Yeah.
Dakari. I always want to make it harder too. The 5 ingredients has always been very useful for me. I want to give Peter a big thanks. Following the institutions when using Magic Trader has shifted my whole approach to trading. So Udemy says it's an amazing software and does exactly what it's supposed to do. And I know Udemy and Dakari have been using MetaStock for a number of ever since we released Magic Trader since day one. So big appreciation for that. I appreciate you guys. Let me go ahead and just kind of talk a little bit about the software. I'm going to take the screen over right now. And there we go. Me, show my screen. And let's hope this works because we're batting at least 10 today. Anyway, Magic Trader is huge. In fact, I was actually just looking at it today, and I'm just like, there's a brand new exploration that I just noticed that shows percent change over time. I'm like, that's really, really cool. I didn't know that that was included, but it is a large software. It has 58 indicators, 47 different individual scans, 2 expert advisors, 35 templates, a very, very intense 127-page manual. It covers 102 different unique symbols, has highlights and a commentary window. And I want to show you from a perspective of how, we've talked a lot about the ingredients today, about how the software can help you understand what's going on in a chart in terms of the ingredients and kind of help you get started. So all of this is included. I myself actually learned Magic Trader by reading the manual. I study best and I learn best when I'm reading. And so I read through the manual and it's very, very well laid out. But if you want to do videos, actually Magic Trader includes a training course that will actually help you get started. And it's a really, really extensive course as well. But also, one of the things I love most about MetaStock, let's go ahead and open up a MetaStock chart, which I actually happen to have one right here. The Dow Industrials kind of had a little bit of a pullback on the credit reporting today. I just want to here's kind of how all the ingredients look. This is the template. I think this is the daily 5 ingredients template. And what I want to show you, if you're new to Magic Trader, one of the things that's going to be extremely helpful for you is the commentary, and the commentary in terms of understanding the agreements or the ingredients as well. So if I open this up right now, I just talked a little bit about this yesterday. If you're paying attention, you can see that we had this kind of the start to the spike. But if I kind of want to just see what's going on here, I can go into the commentary. And Peter designed this commentary, and I'm going to tell you that he did a good job with it. So here it is. It's opened up, and I'm just going to kind of scroll down here. And again, we've been talking about these ingredients today. Here, if you want to know here, let's look at I've been kind of moving backwards in time because I wanted to kind of show you a few things in here. But let's start with the most current bar. So you'll notice right here, right under this, there's a little bit of an arrow that points down, and that just says that we are looking at 8/2 or today, okay, August 2nd. If I wanted to kind of get a summary of what's going on with those 5 ingredients, if I wanted to understand what was happening with it, it's right here. So right now we've got our magic direction line is bullish, our health indicator is neutral, our spectrum spike was bearish, our pure health was bullish, our horizontal timeless was bearish. So there's those ingredients. It's telling us exactly what's going on with those ingredients. And it goes into more details right here where it says details. Your magic direction line, you had a bullish direction this 14 days ago, and your bullish believers dominate. Here you've got your health value indicator components, and it just keeps going. It really does a good job of kind of outlining this and showing you exactly how to use it on the chart. If you understand the agreements, right here, I just kind of want to point out a few things on the chart. We had a little bit of a pullback into this red area, as you can see. But if we're kind of paying attention to the Dow right here, this is July 10th. I had a nice little bit of a run in the month that you can see here. But if we're just starting to kind of pay attention to this, here you've got your entry spike. You get a little bit of a bearish to bullish catalyst. Here you had your yellow bar catalyst, and all of this is pretty clearly defined on the chart for you. Here you have your directional line that goes bullish, your health indicators are positive, and they start to go horizontal. And so if you understand how the ingredients work, it's kind of cluing you into the fact that there's a bit of a bullish move that's possible here, okay? If I kind of go back in time and kind of just show you the commentary for those days, if I'm waiting for kind of all of the ingredients to match up, let's just start here with the bearish to bullish indication. And let's kind of look what the ingredients like right here. You've got a bearish direction line, Your health indicator is neutral. You've got your spectrum spike that's bullish. Your pure health is bearish, and your horizontal time risk is bullish. We can kind of go through this day by day. Here you had your yellow bar, which was kind of identified with the yellow bar. But you can kind of see that here, the ingredients, you still have a bearish direction line. It's going to be a couple of days before that comes in. But you can kind of see day by day kind of how the ingredients start to improve. And it gives you a really, really good summary so that you're always paying attention to those ingredients. And I just think that Peter, when he designed this out, he did a really good job of the commentary, because I think being able to understand not only what's going on the chart, but what's going on the chart I'm looking at is very, very helpful, especially as we're getting started. So as part of that commentary is included. I would be remiss if I'm going to talk about MetaStock and not talk about scanning. So let me kind of go in. Scanning is something that I use every single day. I love the ability to scan through the market and identify opportunities. And Peter showed some scans. In Magic Trader, there's about 48 scans. But here's one that you should start to get familiar with. This is actually the one that I was telling you about today. It shows percent change over months. And I was like, wow, this is something that's on the top of the list, but I always jump to this other scan. But if you look right here, here's the 5 ingredients. I'm going to go ahead and deselect that. And what our scanner allows you to do in MetaStock is it allows you to identify those instruments that have, well, it allows you to go through a huge list of stocks and identify those that kind of have the parameters. So if I run this exploration, what I'm looking for is 5 ingredients. What I'm going to do, and you can do this on any market, I'm just going to choose the one that's going to run fast, which is going to be our Dow Industrial Components, our NASDAQ 100, and our S&P 500. So I'm going to go ahead and start that scan. We do have a lot of customers that exist all over the globe. If you're interested and you're maybe watching this video from India and you want to kind of use this with Indian stocks, we have a huge number of Indian traders. And this is something that you can use in those markets. We cover, with the data that we get, we cover about 200 different global exchanges. And so you have the ability to actually go in and kind of scan any market that you want. Okay, so you notice this is kind of going through, and what we're going to get back is a table view where we can kind of see what ingredients are. And so here you've got the close prices. This would be this would be the spikes, the pure health, the green ribbon. So you've got all of your bullish things right here. So the DL bullish, if I kind of want to see what that says, I kind of need, that would be the direction line. I should have remembered that. Direction line bullish, you've got your health bullish, you've got your green spike, your green pure health, and the green ribbon. If I wanted to kind of see a number of these things kind of matching up, I'm just going to look for, like, actually right here, Colgate-Palmolive has ones in all of these bullish categories. So I could open up that chart, but the ability to actually, let's go ahead and open up that chart. Why not? But the ability to go in and actually scan for those is something that's extremely helpful. So let me go ahead and kind of do this. And if we apply any of those templates, and the one that I kind of like to look at with Magic Trader is the daily 5 ingredients. Let's go ahead and right there. Okay, right under my thing. Right here now, what we should see is all of those lined up since we had all one in all of those columns. So very, very helpful in that respect in terms of being able to identify stocks. Obviously, I'm not recommending, neither is Peter, that you buy Colgate, but in terms of being able to identify, maybe it's a stock that you should take a look at. So let's go ahead and kind of just go back into the PowerPoint real quick here. There it is. Okay. So again, it's a very, very comprehensive add-on. That's one of the things I like about it. There's so much stuff that you can kind of tinker around. I'm still learning more about Magic Trader, and it's been out for a minute. So with that, again, you're going to get the 58 indicators, 47 explorations, 2 expert advisors, 35 templates, the manual. And as with MetaStock, since this is such an extensive tool, before I finish before I forget that thought, because it is extensive, the more you understand how to use it, the better it's going to work for you. So all of that is normally a retail price of about $199. And I also want to talk a little bit about Peter's consulting room. And one of the things Deckery has actually said in the chat is Peter has a very tight grip on analyzing the market and continues to provide many messages to help us to stay up to date in the group. Peter actually runs a consulting education group, and you can kind of read through all of the stuff that he talks about on a day-by-day basis. And normally the price on that is $299 per month. And I know many of the people that come to Peter's webinars routinely absolutely are members of the room. They keep their subscriptions, they love it. And one of the things that's surprising to me is the feedback and the retention that we get on this room. Well, I was talking to Peter about the room, just to kind of give you an idea. They meet 2 times a week, 5:40 a.m. to 7:45 a.m. And that's on Tuesday and that's on Friday. And those have a tendency, they may go longer. Actually, I have a feeling that they probably usually go longer depending on kind of like what they're talking about. As part of that room membership, also what you're going to get is during market open 5 days a week, you'll receive market messages via WhatsApp, and you get some of those on Sunday as well. So normally that's about $300 a month. What we've done and what Peter allows us to do is actually kind of give you a really good price on that and a really good offer on that. So there are, before I talk about that, they also do have magictrader.com and complimentary Magic Trader Facebook that's going to be included with that. But if what we're going to do here today, if you were to subscribe for the next 3 months to Magic Trader Elite and his alert room at $299 per month, your total value there is going to be $14.94. And what Peter and I kind of were discussing, and he was graceful enough to offer this, is we want to get you in there. We've noticed that people that are in the room absolutely love the room. We want to give you a very, very good offer to go ahead and give that a go, give it a try. And so what we're going to do, what he's allowed us to do, and this is an offer that's only good until August 11th, is if you pay for a month, we're going to give you 2 months for free. So instead of paying the $14.48 that you'd normally pay for, you get a discounted price. The discounted price would only be $448. So instead of $14.94 as a new subscriber, and this is only available to new subscribers, you get a discounted price of only $448. So again, the offer is if you pay for a month, we're going to give you the 2nd and 3rd month for free. That is a subscription. So the only thing you really need to do is if you don't want to keep it, you just have to cancel. Otherwise, go ahead. If it's helpful for you, if you like it, you can find out why people like it. Just keep it going. So to do that, you can give us a call, 800-882-3040. You can visit us online at metastock.com/saleschat. And the code that you want to use for that is STEI2305. Again, that's only valid until August 11th. So again, the phone number is 800-882-3040. You've got or metastock.com/saleschat. So there you go. And that's really kind of what I have. I encourage you to try it out. Again, you're going to save about $1,000, $1,050, if my math's right, to try it. There's no ongoing commitments. It's not an ongoing subscription. So there you go. Peter, I'm going to go ahead and turn on your microphone. I don't have a lot of questions that are coming in, but we'll open up for questions.
Go ahead. Any chart related, I could keep my chart on if you want me to project it.
Let's see. Well, we don't have any chart requests, but let's see if some come in. Eugenia says it's true, which I assume that she loves the room. I think that was back when I was saying that the room was really great. I do have a question for you.
Okay.
What do you think about a credit downgrade? Do you think it's going to have a long-term impact on the market, short-term?
Okay, this is my take, no guarantees.
Yeah, for sure.
Morning around 5 o'clock, I saw the chart. I did not knew, but my chart was telling me the story. Then I found out it was a downgrade. This is not the first time it has been downgraded. It did one notch away. But basically there's a lot going on a Federal Reserve side, and people knows what is going to happen. This is just the beginning, right? I'm not a politician either. I want to talk politics. But if you look at the series of events, what went on in last 4 or 5 years on a Federal Reserve side and the banking side, right? And the the beginning of whatever the company was, and a couple of banks in trouble. So on a banking side, this is one of the one who helped me to put all the ducks in a row for 2008 crash. So there are deficiencies out there, even though they carry out all the stress and whatever. But things are not the way it is in reality, right? And they will have to increase the rate, which is anti Wall Street. However, there is a problem with the dollar. When everybody knows that they're dumping US dollar all over the world. Also, they are not buying treasuries. So there is no place to go. That's why the hype was there, and they wanted to retest levels. 40, okay, 4650 was a major level. They couldn't take it, so that's why they pulled back. And the news today was just an excuse to further down. I wrote this morning, and I told even 2 days ago, watch out 4540 areas. What that means, that level is broken and doesn't close today, there will be further selling, and which exactly happened. So we are not out of the woods. Also, right, there are no, I give people the S&P is a king. There is no doubt about it, and that's the thing people should pay attention to. That's what we call SPOOs, right? Or S&P futures, S&P 500 futures, and its relation to other indexes. And if there is a problem, right, we got a problem here. And NASDAQ does not match with Dow. Dow doesn't match. So they are on a different levels. Only thing carried in last few months, the what I call bias of AI in January. By the way, we were seeing right since October, there's something big going to happen with NASDAQ, and I showed him the proof, right? So for us, it's not a big deal. This was rally, but going forward, today closing below 4550, which is an important gamma level. And I even tell people what they're going to do. Not market makers, dealers. That's all institution money comes in. So I told that there is okay, first of all, they wanted to kill all the put options. So they rally, but they couldn't take out 4650, right? We went there, almost there, 4634. It takes no time to get there. But there were, even I wrote it, there is an overhead supply at that level. So they're not going to let it happen. That's what I was trying to tell. And then I wrote that they will make people buy the call options. And Monday was a perfect time to beat the crap out of people, right? So they bought more, right? And what happened Tuesday and Wednesday? Everybody knows the history. But these are orchestral game. Whether you like it, not like it, it is not about anything. It's a gamma and delta. And how much is the net? And it affects the JP Morgan, the collar. They put a collar and it gets leaked out. If it leaked out or not doesn't matter. You could see from gamma concentration, we are at the advantage because I could look at delta and convert artificially into gamma, right? And see what is happening with gamma. So I wrote it today. If it does not close about 4550, which is a gamma level, important one, we're going to go further down and tomorrow, right? And today was an option. And Friday, until Friday, they will keep playing that game. So there will be some buying. I'm not telling counter cycles, but important level of gamma was broken today by design because first of all, they gave it up most of the call options, they expired worthless on Monday. Now people still bought call options or whatever, right? And now they're getting beat up today. So what they did it, they also decimated all the put option because we're going to the moon. So put option become worthless about 46, 4650 area. No, 4550 area. Sorry, I misspoken. Everything I said, let me repeat. 4650 was an important area which they failed to test it. There was a gamma overhead supply, right? So people are shorting, institutions are shorting, right? Now, retails bought it, all the call options, 4650 and above. So they're holding calls, right? But the put options, they did not close above 4550 for a while, right? So what happened? Those got decimated, means worthless. Now put option got cleared up, right? So now they're bidding up today using the pitch excuse, but it is, and it could damage it further. Or the first level is, and there is no guarantee for education purpose only. 4523 areas is a key level, right? And it is known to many institutional traders. If that is broken and closed below, we may be seeing 4480 areas. And don't kid yourself, and 4500 is imminent at that time. We are right there, why not? Right? So until then, market will go crazy. And Friday, some important economical numbers coming up. PPI is coming up, I think, tomorrow. Because I don't follow much economic, but I want to know when they are a day before I worry about it, right? So basically, there will be some action because of that, but things are not great. So me being conservative, I decide to hedge it, right? And I did the hedge when, like Triple M, when it was like up and up, kind of 112 areas, right? And I did it in a deep, in the money put option. So I get maximum advantage of in a long term. So I will be collecting the premium, right? And I'm just disclose only one, but that doesn't mean other things doesn't exist. But I publicly spoke here, so people want to know what happened to Peter. I bought it with paying broker traditional commission. My cost was with options until October, right? This October was 113, not 100, $103, and little change below or above, I don't remember exactly. But it went to, and I had a choice at that time, get out, then let it come back and hedge it. I decided to stay in there because I want to stay and play the game for a long term now. So idea, you could hedge for temporary and convert into long term when things start going in your favor. Because, and I will give you the clues, I don't exactly remember, but my orange line on a monthly is telling me 137 area. So eventually they will have to test. We got whole year to test it. So you understand now, and things, so that doesn't mean it's going to keep going up, but I'm fully hedged, so I don't care. So basically, market is jittery, and please, we don't have the technology to plot price and volume chart, which I do use it for many years, right? And eventually, Jeff will be happy to give me that gift so I could help traders. But I discuss every time in an alert room, and I always communicate with people having price volume, right? And how many standard deviation it is, because that how hedging is done. If you know, learn from it, and expected move. And we went one beyond on a Thursday, expected move at 6 o'clock, right? I'm still using my old formulas because I have to convert into MetaStock, but I'm giving you some clues what works. We cannot guarantee anything, but what I day to day put time into, and those expected level, I put it in a institutional analysis as well as my room, right? So you don't have to have that. I'm giving you the levels and try to follow what I'm trying to tell you, where institutions are taking positions that I know from my chart, right? So all these things, when you start putting together, you're going to see multi games they're playing. So please be careful. It will retest some of the level. There will be some counter cycle because of the news, but things are not looking that great.
All right.
On a bull side.
Do you know what is looking great, though, Peter?
Well, but fortunately, Jeb, Magic Trader doesn't care. They find still opportunity.
What I was going to say, what looks great to me is this offer.
What is that?
What looks good to me is this offer.
I see. Well, any question?
No, not really. It seems like we've got to the end of the comments and the questions. So I do want to reiterate, this is a really, really good offer to try this. $448 will get you 3 months of access to Magic Trader as well as the room. Peter does a great job with. Thank you, Peter. Give us a call, 800-882-3040 or metastock.com/sales-chat. Peter, thanks for coming in today. Appreciate you.
I have to thank everybody who attended so long. Sorry about these technical difficulties. I don't know how that happened. It normally never happen. Right? Yeah. Very rare with MetaStock. And I apologize, but thank you for staying here. You could reach out to us for help. I help everybody, but I have limitations, right? And I have an obligation with MetaStock. Certain things I cannot do it. And I cannot personally coach you because that is directly insult to what I agreed with the MetaStock, right? So basically, we try to limit the knowledge within the alert room where I openly talk a lot of things. And watch out banks. That's the best statement I could make it. And read through a couple of docket numbers, find them, what has been going on for many years, and this is happening now. So if I were you, watch how your bank is behaving. That's the closest thing on a public forum I could tell you.
All right.
It is a little bit scary.
All right. I want to say thank you again for coming, Peter, spending a few hours with us. And thank you, everybody else, for listening, asking questions, coming in today. I appreciate you. And Peter, we'll see you again really, really soon.
All right. Sorry about time delays, but hopefully we give you some knowledge so you could do better in trading.
You did great. I appreciate it.
No, I wish they start using this knowledge. And this double V pattern happens many, many times.
That was a good one. I'm going to take a look. I'm going to keep an eye open for that one.
All right. I'm going to discuss with you how we could help people, right?
Okay.
Until you officially do it, all right? So because my heart goes to those traders, and we cannot guarantee anything, but if that helps for people to stay on the right side of the trade, right, we will help them.
All right. Well, thank you, Peter. I appreciate everything you do, and we'll see you again real soon.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, everybody. Good night.
Hi, Kelly Clement here from MetaStock. Before you go, I have 2 quick things for you. 1, thanks for joining us today. We love having you here at our webinars and viewing our videos. So what I'd like to invite you to do before you go is like and subscribe. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. It helps us a great deal, and it helps us bring you more awesome content like today's video. The second thing is we have a great ebook on trading that you can get for free. If you go to metastock.com/YouTube book, you can get a free copy of The Secrets of Successful Traders. It's a great book with lots of content from traders just like yourself who can teach you some of the secrets that they have learned. Thanks for taking a second with me and learning about those 2 things. Thanks for joining us, and keep on trading.